The Book of Enoch is one of the most mysterious and mind-blowing texts in ancient literature. This book is full of crazy visions, terrifying prophecies, and stories that seem impossible. Angels falling from heaven, giants roaming the earth, cosmic battles, and glimpses of the end times. Every page contains events that challenge our understanding of reality and show the immense power and order of the universe. Even though some details may seem strange or hard to grasp, the deeper meaning of the book reveals lessons about righteousness, justice, and God's plan for humanity. Welcome to our channel, Bible Says, where we uncover the powerful lessons hidden in sacred scripture. Here we do not just retell ancient stories, we explore how they connect to our lives, how they reveal God's plan for humanity, and how they prepare us for what is still to come. Whether you are a believer, a seeker, or simply curious, we invite you on this journey through the Bible, word by word, story by story. Enoch is introduced as a righteous man living among a corrupted humanity. In his time, people had turned away from God, and the Watchers, angels sent to watch over humanity, became fascinated by human women. They descended to earth and broke divine law, giving birth to giants who spread violence and chaos. This event demonstrates how even angels can fall when tempted by earthly desires, and it shows the fragility of order in creation. Enoch, however, is chosen to witness these events and receive visions from God, learning the secrets of heaven, the fate of the fallen, and the ultimate judgment of all creation. His first vision reveals the heavens as vast, radiant realms filled with angels maintaining cosmic balance. Archangels Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, and Uriel guide him, teaching him about divine justice, mercy, and the interconnectedness of all creation. Enoch sees not only the glory of heaven, but also the punishment of the fallen angels, and the consequences of human and celestial disobedience. These visions are terrifying, beautiful, and awe-inspiring, showing that every action has consequences far beyond our understanding. As he journeys, Enoch learns about the movement of celestial bodies, the cycles of nature, and the divine order that sustains the universe. He witnesses humanity's struggles, the rise and fall of kingdoms, and glimpses the ultimate reconciliation of creation. The Book of Enoch emphasizes that even in times of corruption and chaos, the righteous have a role to play. Enoch serves as a bridge between the divine and human realms, carrying messages that warn, instruct, and inspire. His story teaches that wisdom, humility, and obedience to God's will are essential to navigate a world filled with darkness and temptation. The imagery in the Book of Enoch is cinematic and immersive. The heavens are described as radiant and majestic, angels are glowing and immense, and cosmic events unfold with power and significance. Through these descriptions, readers are invited to imagine the vastness of the universe and the divine plan that guides it. Enoch's visions remind us that our world is part of a greater reality, where justice, morality, and divine oversight are real forces shaping the course of history. Even though the text is ancient, its lessons remain relevant. The Book of Enoch teaches about the consequences of sin, the importance of righteousness, and the power of divine guidance. By following Enoch's journey, we are reminded that even a single righteous individual can have a profound impact, and that understanding the divine plan requires openness, humility, and the willingness to learn from higher wisdom. The first part of the book sets the stage for the extraordinary revelations and prophecies that follow, inviting readers to explore the mysteries of heaven and the secrets of God's plan for humanity. The second part of the Book of Enoch delves into one of the most shocking and intriguing stories in all biblical literature, the fall of the Watchers. These were angels sent by God to watch over humanity, to guide and protect them. Yet, in a moment of weakness and desire, they looked upon human women with fascination and lust. They descended from heaven to earth, breaking divine law and disrupting the natural order. Their actions were not minor. They led to the birth of the Nephilim, giants who brought violence, fear, and chaos upon the world. Humanity, already drifting from righteousness, now faced an even greater threat, not only from within but from supernatural forces that had turned corrupt. Enoch is chosen once again to witness these extraordinary events. Unlike ordinary humans, he is allowed to see the Watchers in their full glory and to understand the consequences of their rebellion. He learns that God's justice is absolute and inescapable. The Watchers, despite their power and knowledge, cannot escape the consequences of their desires. Enoch's visions show him the preparation of their punishment. They are bound in chains and hidden in darkness, awaiting the day of final judgment. This part of the book emphasizes that rebellion, even among heavenly beings, carries weighty consequences. It is a story about accountability, the limits of freedom, and the certainty of divine law. Through his visions, Enoch also sees the devastation that the fallen angels have caused among humans. The Nephilim terrorize the land, spreading bloodshed and corruption. They consume resources, oppress the innocent, and further distort the moral fabric of society. Yet God's plan is not only about punishment, it is also about restoration and guidance. Enoch learns that the righteous will not be left without protection, and that divine justice will eventually prevail. These narratives teach that wrongdoing may seem to succeed in the short term, but ultimate accountability cannot be avoided. The Book of Enoch describes the heavens in vivid cinematic detail as Enoch observes the Watcher's fate. Angelic beings stand ready to carry out God's commands, majestic and terrifying. Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, and Uriel appear again, each with a role in the enforcement of divine law. Enoch sees the balance of mercy and justice at work. While the Watchers face punishment, humanity is given guidance, hope, and warnings. The imagery is dramatic and immersive, showing the scale of divine authority and the seriousness of rebellion against it. One of the most profound lessons from this part of the book is the interaction between free will and responsibility. Even angels, who possess greater knowledge and power than humans, are held accountable for their choices. Enoch's visions remind us that freedom is a gift, but it comes with consequences. The story of the Watchers also highlights the importance of obedience, humility, and the recognition of a higher moral order. Humanity may struggle with sin and temptation, but divine guidance is always available, and those who seek righteousness will find support and insight. Enoch's role as a mediator becomes even more crucial in this section. He carries messages from God about the coming judgment, the restoration of order, and the eventual reconciliation of creation. His visions offer warnings about the destructive power of sin, not only for individuals but for entire societies. They also reveal hope. God's justice is not arbitrary, and even in the face of chaos, divine order can be restored. Through Enoch's eyes, readers gain a perspective on the delicate interplay between spiritual forces, human actions, and cosmic consequences. This second part is also deeply prophetic. Enoch sees glimpses of the future, the consequences of humanity following sinful paths, the eventual triumph of the righteous, and the final judgment that will restore balance to the universe. He witnesses symbolic representations of events yet to unfold, learning that history is guided by a moral structure that reflects divine wisdom. Even though the Nephilim and the fallen angels create fear and chaos, Enoch's visions reassure that God's plan encompasses both justice and mercy, and that order will ultimately prevail over disorder. The vivid imagery and moral lessons of this section of the Book of Enoch resonate even today. The story of the Watchers reminds us of the dangers of desire unchecked by wisdom, the certainty of accountability, and the potential for redemption and guidance. It encourages reflection on personal choices, the influence of others, and the importance of living in alignment with divine principles. Enoch's journey continues to inspire, showing that even in the darkest times, insight, guidance, and hope are possible through awareness of God's plan and the pursuit of righteousness. In this third part of the Book of Enoch, the focus shifts from the fall of the Watchers to Enoch's extraordinary journeys through the heavens. Unlike ordinary humans, he is taken beyond the earthly realm to witness the vastness of creation, the order of the cosmos, and the intricate workings of divine justice. The visions he receives are both awe-inspiring and overwhelming, showing the immense power of God and the complex structure of spiritual and earthly realms. Enoch travels through multiple layers of heaven, each more magnificent than the last. The first heaven is filled with radiant light, angelic beings, and the sound of unending praise. The second heaven reveals the place where the fallen angels are imprisoned, bound in chains, awaiting the day of final judgment. In the third heaven, Enoch sees the heavenly throne itself, surrounded by fiery serpents of light, angelic hosts, and divine glory that surpasses all human imagination. These journeys are not only a revelation of grandeur, but also a lesson in morality, justice, and the consequences of human and celestial actions. Throughout these heavenly travels, Enoch is guided by archangels such as Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, and Uriel. Each archangel imparts wisdom about creation, the moral structure of the universe, and the destiny of humankind. Michael teaches about divine protection and the balance between mercy and justice. Gabriel explains the unfolding of God's plans and the delivery of warnings. Raphael instructs about healing and care for the earth, and Uriel reveals the secrets of time, prophecy, and the paths of the stars. These lessons are intricate yet clear, showing that divine guidance is available for those who seek it, and that understanding comes through both observation and obedience. Enoch witnesses the destinies of nations, observing how moral choices shape history. He sees the rise and fall of kingdoms, the consequences of greed and corruption, and the blessings that follow righteousness and wisdom. These visions are prophetic, illustrating that God's plan for humanity is precise and enduring. The text emphasizes that while humans may struggle and fail, the ultimate outcome is determined by divine justice, and the righteous will find protection and guidance through God's wisdom. In addition to cosmic and historical insights, Enoch sees symbolic representations of future events. The heavens reveal a timeline of humanity's moral and spiritual journey, showing both periods of darkness and moments of enlightenment. He witnesses trials, challenges, and conflicts, but also the ultimate triumph of truth and order over chaos and sin. These visions serve as warnings, teaching readers that choices have consequences and that spiritual awareness and righteousness are essential for navigating life. One of the most compelling aspects of this part of the Book of Enoch is the portrayal of divine authority and cosmic balance. Enoch sees that every being, from the smallest human to the mightiest angel, exists within a moral and spiritual order. Actions are recorded and justice is administered according to divine wisdom. This perspective emphasizes responsibility, accountability, and the interconnectedness of all creation. Even seemingly insignificant actions can have far-reaching effects, demonstrating that life is a tapestry woven with intention and consequence. Enoch's journeys are also a lesson in humility and wonder. He is repeatedly reminded of the vastness of creation and the limited understanding of humans. The heavenly visions inspire awe, fear, and reverence, illustrating that knowledge and power must be tempered with respect for divine authority. This part of the book encourages readers to seek wisdom, embrace humility, and recognize that the pursuit of understanding is a lifelong journey guided by God. Finally, the prophetic visions reveal the ultimate destiny of creation. Enoch sees the final judgment, the restoration of order, and the reconciliation of all things with divine will. He witnesses the triumph of righteousness over evil and the establishment of an eternal moral and spiritual order. These revelations are both comforting and instructive, showing that despite chaos, rebellion, or corruption, God's plan is unshakable and just. Through these heavenly journeys and prophetic visions, Enoch becomes a mediator and teacher for humanity. His experiences convey lessons about morality, divine justice, responsibility, and the eternal significance of human choices. This third part of the Book of Enoch is a bridge between the dramatic fall of the Watchers and the revelations of cosmic justice and end-time prophecy that follow. It inspires reflection, awe, and a deeper understanding of God's plan for the universe and for each of us. In the fourth part of the Book of Enoch, the focus shifts to the ultimate consequences of sin and disobedience. Enoch witnesses the fate of the wicked, the fallen angels, and those who have corrupted the earth. The visions are terrifying yet instructive, revealing the certainty of divine justice and the importance of righteousness. Through these revelations, Enoch understands that every action has weight, and that moral and spiritual corruption will inevitably lead to punishment. The fallen Watchers, who once walked among humans, are now bound in darkness. They are confined in deep pits, restrained by chains forged by divine command. Enoch sees them writhing in anguish, awaiting the day of final judgment. This punishment is not arbitrary. It reflects the seriousness of their rebellion and serves as a warning to all beings, human and angelic alike. The story emphasizes that freedom comes with responsibility, and that even the most powerful creatures cannot escape the consequences of wrongdoing. Enoch also observes the judgment of humanity. Those who have embraced wickedness, violence, and deceit face destruction and exile from divine favor. Meanwhile, the righteous are shown protection, guidance, and hope. The visions illustrate a balance between justice and mercy. Evil is punished, but there is always a path for the faithful to find salvation. The Book of Enoch teaches that human choices matter, that corruption has tangible consequences, and that divine oversight ensures order and accountability in the universe. The imagery in this part of the book is vivid and cinematic. Enoch sees cosmic landscapes of fire, darkness, and radiant light. The heavens reveal both the grandeur of creation and the severity of divine law. Angels stand ready to execute God's judgment, majestic and terrifying. Mountains quake, rivers flow with symbolic representation of justice, and the earth bears witness to both human sin and divine punishment. Through these depictions, readers are reminded of the scale and seriousness of spiritual realities, as well as the precision of God's plan. Prophetic visions show Enoch the future course of humanity. He sees nations rise and fall, civilizations crumble under the weight of sin, and the ultimate triumph of truth and righteousness. The book underscores that while human history may appear chaotic, it is guided by moral and spiritual principles. Every act of kindness or cruelty, every choice to obey or rebel, contributes to the unfolding of divine justice. These lessons are timeless, highlighting the importance of integrity, responsibility, and adherence to God's law. Enoch's role as a mediator and messenger becomes even more evident in this section. He conveys God's warnings, explains the consequences of sin, and offers hope to the righteous. His journey shows that divine communication is not distant or inaccessible. It is available to those who seek understanding and embrace faith. The experiences of the fallen angels and the wicked provide context and contrast, making the rewards of righteousness even clearer and more meaningful. Through these visions, Enoch gains insight into the interplay between mercy and judgment. God's actions are never arbitrary. They reflect wisdom, fairness, and ultimate concern for the restoration of order. Even in the midst of punishment and destruction, there is a sense of purpose and structure, emphasizing that creation is governed by a moral law that ensures balance and fairness. These revelations inspire reflection, humility, and a commitment to living according to divine guidance. Finally, this part of the Book of Enoch prepares readers for the final chapters, the restoration of order, the reconciliation of creation, and the ultimate triumph of righteousness. The warnings and prophecies conveyed through Enoch's visions serve as lessons for humanity, encouraging moral vigilance, spiritual awareness, and faith in God's plan. By observing the fate of the wicked and the protection of the righteous, readers are reminded of the eternal consequences of their actions and the importance of choosing the path of righteousness. In the final part of the Book of Enoch, the focus turns to the prophetic meaning of the visions and the ultimate restoration of the world. After witnessing the fall of the Watchers, the chaos caused by the Nephilim, and the moral decline of humanity, Enoch is shown how God's plan unfolds to bring justice, balance, and renewal. These visions are filled with hope and instruction, emphasizing that despite the suffering and corruption of the present, divine order will be restored and righteousness will prevail. Enoch sees the final judgment, where every action is accounted for. The righteous are rewarded, the wicked face their consequences, and the universe is set in harmony with God's law. The imagery is breathtaking. Radiant light floods the earth. Angels stand in organized ranks, and a sense of peace and justice fills the heavens. This part of the book emphasizes that God's plan is meticulous and absolute. Nothing is left to chance, and every event, no matter how chaotic it may seem, contributes to the fulfillment of divine purpose. The prophetic meaning of the Book of Enoch extends beyond punishment and reward. Enoch learns that the visions serve as guidance for humanity. They reveal patterns of behavior, consequences of choices, and the importance of living in alignment with divine principles. The messages are clear. Moral vigilance, spiritual awareness, and obedience to God's guidance are essential for survival and growth. The book encourages reflection on personal actions and the broader impact of humanity's collective choices. Enoch also witnesses the restoration of the earth itself. The chaos caused by the Nephilim, human corruption, and fallen angels is gradually replaced with order, beauty, and harmony. Nature reflects divine balance. Rivers flow clearly, mountains stand firm, and the sky shines with unbroken light. Humanity, too, is shown the opportunity for redemption. Those who seek wisdom, righteousness, and understanding are guided toward enlightenment. This part of the book teaches that restoration is possible, but it requires effort, humility, and adherence to moral and spiritual laws. The angels play a significant role in this restoration. Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, and Uriel act as guides and enforcers of divine order, helping Enoch understand the unfolding plan. Their presence illustrates the balance between mercy and justice. Punishment serves as a corrective force, while guidance offers hope and the opportunity for transformation. Enoch's journey demonstrates that divine oversight is constant, and that even when human actions seem to disrupt the world, God's plan remains steadfast. Prophetic visions also reveal the long-term destiny of humanity. Enoch sees periods of challenge and testing, but ultimately, righteousness triumphs. The cyclical nature of history, the rise and fall of civilizations, and the moral lessons embedded in every era are all part of a larger framework designed by God. Through these revelations, readers are encouraged to consider the consequences of their actions, the responsibility they bear for themselves and others, and the importance of seeking wisdom and guidance. Finally, the Book of Enoch concludes with a sense of hope and clarity. The prophetic lessons emphasize that while evil and chaos may exist, divine justice, order, and restoration are inevitable. Humanity is offered the chance to learn from past mistakes, to seek righteousness, and to align with God's will. Enoch's journey, from witnessing the fall of angels to observing the ultimate restoration of creation, provides both warning and inspiration. It teaches that divine guidance is available, that accountability is real, and that hope and redemption are always possible for those who choose the path of righteousness. The final part of the Book of Enoch leaves readers with a profound understanding of God's plan, that despite sin, suffering, and chaos, order and justice will prevail. It highlights the importance of moral and spiritual vigilance, the consequences of actions, and the ultimate triumph of righteousness. Through Enoch's visions, the book provides insight into the cosmic balance, the role of humanity in creation, and the enduring hope offered through divine wisdom. In the final part of the Book of Enoch, the focus turns to the prophetic meaning of the visions and the ultimate restoration of the world. After witnessing the fall of the Watchers, the chaos caused by the Nephilim, and the moral decline of humanity, Enoch is shown how God's plan unfolds to bring justice, balance, and renewal. These visions are filled with hope and instruction, emphasizing that despite the suffering and corruption of the present, divine order will be restored and righteousness will prevail. Enoch sees the final judgment where every action is accounted for. The righteous are rewarded, the wicked face their consequences, and the universe is set in